Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Oh, it looks like you're doing great. It's time for a vaccination. Hello everybody! I'm Franco Carrillo and welcome to Mega Franco TV! FrancoTrivia number 14! So, in today's video, I am a doctor. But you might be wondering why. Well, actually, in today's video, we're going to be talking about vaccine. Well, as you all know, we're in a pandemic. And the government is urging people to get vaccinated. And vaccinate as many people as they can. But what is a vaccine? And why is it very important anyway? Well, first we're going to be talking about where it all began. The history of vaccine. Vaccines were invented by a scientist named Edward Jenner in the year 1796 and successfully eradicated the smallpox virus. Well, you might be wondering, what is the smallpox virus? Well, the smallpox virus is a very dangerous disease that killed a lot of people way back, even before vaccines were invented. Smallpox was a terrible disease, and 3 out of 10 people that are infected died. The smallpox is one of the most deadliest disease ever, but it is also one of the only diseases that are eradicated through vaccination. Imagine how our world will look like if we didn't invented vaccines. But guys, did you know that the first vaccination was not in a needle nor an injection? Yes guys! What? The first vaccine-like procedure was variolation. Variolation was the first use of inoculation used to immunize a person against the smallpox virus. It is a method of taking scabs from a smallpox lesion and putting it to healthy people by putting 4 to 5 scratches on the skin of the person. Variolation isn't just always putting scratches in your skin. The first form of variolation originated in China a long time ago. Instead of taking scratches, people would take scabs off a smallpox lesion, drying it and then turning it into a powder and then blowing it into a nose of a healthy person. That's the first form of variolation, which originated in China. But it is not really fully effective since about 2% of the inoculated people still die from the procedure. You may not know this, but weirdly, the name vaccine came from a Latin word called vacca, which literally means cow. You might be wondering, what? Well, it is because the own disease of a cow helped us invented the vaccines. It is because Edward Jenner, the one who invented the vaccines, suddenly noticed that dairy maids, which get milk from cows, get cowpox, but do not get smallpox. It is probably because the cowpox and smallpox are related. And because cowpox is a much more milder disease, which means it is a weaker and not so dangerous version of the smallpox, and when the immune system sees smallpox, they think it was cowpox and defeated smallpox with ease. Well, Jenner doesn't know that yet. He decided to experiment it by variolating the 8-year-old son of his gardener, James Phillips. He decided to inoculate James Phillips with cowpox. After that, a few weeks later, he then does that again, but this time with smallpox. And shockingly, no symptoms appeared. The boy was literally immune to smallpox, and it was the first person to experience vaccination. That's the term he created. Vaccination, which also means vaca in Latin and in English, cow. I wonder how the world would look like if there were no cows. In order for us to understand and know more about vaccine, we also have to learn about our immune system. It is a system inside your body in which the immune cells help keep your immune system safe from these bad viruses and germs. But still, if that is true, why do we get sick?
Why?
Well, actually, guys, it is because sometimes it could be their first time fighting a certain virus or bacteria that they do not know how to defeat it yet. So they have to train themselves of how to attack and fight that specific pathogen, germ, or virus that is. But also because of that, it also takes time. Like, it would sometimes take weeks or days before your body could finally figure out how to wipe these diseases off your body. So that is probably why you also had fever, you also had cough and sneeze. The reason you had fever is mostly because you might have heard this from your school before, but viruses and other specific type of pathogens find it very hard to reproduce in very warm temperatures. Some, or mostly even a lot of pathogens can be killed by heat. So sometimes your immune system goes to fever mode to melt those pathogens and viruses. And also, if you get fever, that might be a sign that your body is in a very intense battle. Vaccination is a simple, safe, and effective way to help you get immunized against a certain harmful disease or virus. It uses your body's natural defense to build resistance to specific infection, and most importantly, makes your immune system stronger. Vaccines mimic the specific antigen or virus and triggers the immune response, and also trains the body to recognize the specific virus and is helping the body to create the right antibody for that specific pathogen or virus. For example, you're injected with a vaccine. The vaccine introduces weak versions of the virus. Then it travels all along, multiplying until one of your immune cells came across them. Then your immune system suddenly gets alert and is practicing how to destroy those weak viruses so that they can prepare in fighting the real stronger ones. So once the real virus comes, it is already prepared how to kick their butts. And that's a simple explanation of how vaccines work. But some people complain that they got fevers even if they got vaccinated. But that doesn't mean it's bad. That means it's working. Yes, you know, you all guys heard that vaccines were all made of those specific pathogens that are weakened, ripped apart, part or probably just the genetic code of them. But you must always remember that a vaccine doesn't have a very dangerous or very active virus in it. Well, there are vaccines which put live ones, but they just deleted some of its abilities like making harm so that it would be much easier to fight and safe, and that's it. You cannot get sick from it. Well, it is strong enough to trigger our immune system, but not strong enough to cause harm to us. Some people also debate that vaccines contain harmful toxins like aluminum and even mercury. But, well, yes, they do contain those, but the reason they are in the vaccine is for them to work. And you might also be surprised that water could also be toxic. Like literally almost everything around us is toxic. Same as with vaccines, that they have super small amounts, but they're not considered toxic or harmful. These ingredients are just present here so that they could work for us. Well, some people might debate or even say that they are just too scared and just wants to follow the path of natural immunity, which you get the real pathogen or virus, get sick to it, and then make your immune system train to it, and then get immune. Yeah, you couldn't get immune to it, but still, it is very risky and also quite dangerous. But please don't do that. It is not advisable, and the pathogen or virus might win that fight against your immune system. So maybe we should stick to vaccines for a while. And guys, if you might be wondering, how do people create vaccines? Well, the creation of vaccines comes in 3 stages. First is the research, where the scientists get information about how to create the vaccine and test it with the specific pathogen or virus. Next, they test it. They inject it with certain people in trying to test their reactions to the vaccines. For the testing, must go through clinical studies. First, they will have to check its safety. Next, they'll have to check its effectiveness. And lastly, they will then check both safety and effectiveness. Those are phases 1, 2, and 3. And after those are complete, it has to be approved or licensed. It has to be reviewed to make sure it is fully safe or not. And after this is complete, they begin manufacturing. Which is, you know what manufacturing means? Making the vaccine. This might take about years, but it's all part of creating the vaccine. But however, it wasn't the same until scientists begin to create, you know it, the coronavirus vaccines. As they make the coronavirus vaccines, they somehow finished it in less than 12 months. Yes guys, they just finished that in that small amount of time. Mostly because of that huge support people keep putting to the scientists that are creating the vaccine. I'm very thankful that they created that vaccine in just a small amount of time. Though some people think the manufacturing and creation of that vaccine was a rush and there are some missing parts and it might be dangerous. But no, the scientists and the ones who made the vaccine actually go through all those steps carefully, and all the things went through very well. That's how they made a vaccine very fast. It even beat the world record of one of the world's most fastest manufactured vaccines ever. But most of us might think when the vaccine comes, the pandemic will finally be over. But the process for that could be very slow because there were still people who were against it. Maybe because they think the vaccines are not doing well and they think it could have side effects or maybe allergic reaction. But still, I hope that people will soon learn the importance of vaccines and how they actually work and finally vaccinate in order to stop the pandemic. Just like those old and very dangerous diseases. Well, some people think if everybody around you is vaccinated, then it means you don't need to be vaccinated. Well, this argument comes from the herd immunity, which if the most people around them are vaccinated and there are only a very few of them who aren't vaccinated, then the disease could not spread much very far since it's surrounded by many vaccinated people that they cannot infect them. Then, well, this is true, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be vaccinated. This is mostly and only true to the ones who can't be vaccinated, like the ones who are still very young to be vaccinated and the ones with very weak immune systems that cannot be vaccinated. So if you can get a vaccine and you are just scared to do it, then just do it. Even I was scared of vaccines. Well, I was just scared of the pain, but not really the cause. Maybe you or maybe some people just had trypanophobia, which also means fear of needles. Don't worry, vaccines save about millions of lives and we should appreciate the work of vaccines. Work of our scientists and the one who created vaccines. You might heard of this that long before there was a scientific paper saying that autism and vaccines were connected. But later on, this was found to be not real and was false information. But still, people still believe this and kept thinking that vaccines cause autism, which is, if you haven't heard of this, you might think, wait, what? That is very weird. Why would people come up with things like this? Vaccines do not cause autism. There was even this argument that vaccines are used to microchip people. Like the chips, not really the chips you eat, but the chips that are used in computers, phones, and many other. People think they're doing this to transform us into robots, but that is very sci-fi and not really that real. So this is debunked, not real. So again guys, vaccines are effective and safe, as so many people that were against vaccines also have gotten sick and realized their mistake of not getting vaccinated. So I do hope that everybody gets vaccinated so that the pandemic would end and our lives would finally return to normal. Vaccines are good and helpful. They train our immune system to fight against that specific pathogen or virus. I don't know why people are just not accepting vaccination. Imagine if vaccines were never invented and all the diseases that were used to be eradicated are still here. What would happen? So that is why we must get vaccinated and appreciate the creation and also appreciate vaccines and all the people using this, including Edward Jenner, and also all the other scientists that work together to help eradicate the diseases that were once all forgotten. So I hope you guys all get vaccinated and all become aware, because vaccines are the only tools we have that could help us eradicate more diseases somewhere in the future one day. So that's it guys. I hope everybody would understand and all get vaccinated. I do miss going outside, going to the mall, going to the school, meet my friends in person, and also going to the cinema, watching my favorite movies, and also once going to all the places I want. I hope this pandemic will end and everybody would get vaccinated. So do your part, guys, so that everything will go back to normal. Okay, guys, I hope you're doing great, healthy, and safe, and I hope you're all doing very well. And that's all for today, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mega Franco TV. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my second channel. It's here, Mega Franco Studios. There. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. And don't forget to like and follow my Facebook page. It's Franco Carrillo. Thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in my next video. Bye.